not play. Like their whole thing is like they decided you were gonna be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer before you were born, and then you come out and you're like, hey, by the way, I like making words rhyme, and they're like, oh my god, I failed.
Hey, what's up?
What's popping?
How are you, man?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Is my mic sound okay? Does the setup sound good?
Yeah, it's a little. Maybe you could probably give it a little bit more juice.
Gotcha.
A little low.
Let me know when. Let me know.
That was good.
Perfect.
Awesome. Akintoye, I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm Adam, and this is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new song that you have out now.
Yeah,
which is awesome. And I love your desktop back there with the Jordan.
Oh yeah, I keep the you know what's funny? That's NBA 2K23 open.
Oh really?
2K24 is about to come out in like a week, and I'm, you know what I mean, you gotta dial in the skill set because I'm gonna jump on the game and a bunch of 7-year-olds are gonna get on there and maybe
start whooping ass.
I gotta get it together before I actually start playing a new game.
When did they add Jordan? Has he always been in the 2K games?
You know what it was? So I think this screen is showing right now. There's like a Jordan challenge. Like there's it's like a mode you go into to play like Michael Jordan's greatest moments, like when he's at UNC and he hit like the game winner, and it's like a whole it's a whole thing. That's just what.
Okay, so you can't actually play with Jordan.
No, you can. You can.
Oh, you can.
They got all-time teams. They got like, if I wanted to go in there and play with damn Muggsy Bogues and like switch the roster around and put Muggsy Bogues on the 2015 Cavs, I could do that. Like
no way.
Yeah, you gotta do whatever you want on 2K these days.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, because I remember I think the last one I had was 22. I think 2K20. I don't even know if they had Jordan in the game. Yeah.
2K is funny because like I don't know what your relationship with 2K is, but like I am like the target consumer for NBA 2K. Like,
okay,
I know it's a garbage video game.
I have it. I play it. It's fun.
I bought every single NBA 2K since NBA 2K11. This
really
is a toxic relationship in my life because I buy it and I'm like, this game is stupid, but what do I do the next year? I buy it again.
Exactly.
I do that until they stop making them.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, enough about video games, although I love Michael Jordan and basketball, but so first off, where were you born and raised? You're in Canada, Toronto?
Yeah, so I'm currently in Toronto. I was born in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria, and then I moved to Toronto in 2009. So I was young. I was 9-10 years old, give or take.
Okay.
So born in Nigeria, like halfway raised in Nigeria, and then like my teen adult years I've been in Toronto.
Yeah. What I interviewed somebody the other day that was also born and then moved to Toronto. Coincidentally.
Toronto's one of those places that, like, you know how they say like New York, like everyone's represented in New York?
Yeah.
Toronto is like, for real, that's actually what that is. Like no one in Toronto is like, not no one, but most people in Toronto aren't like generations in Toronto. Like this is like everyone's from a different corner of the planet. Like it's just everyone's that's here has moved here or their parents moved here.
Okay, yeah, I interviewed a guy named Toby. He's an artist, and he was from Lagos, Nigeria, and moved there when he was like 10 years.
With an I, Tobi.
Yeah, yes.
I know Toby.
Oh, wow. Well, you guys are from the same spot, I think.
Yeah, that's the homie. I be seeing Toby out and about. I don't leave the crib much, but when I do, I be seeing Toby out and about. You know, he's saying what's up. Yeah. Toby's tall. Toby like 6'4", bro.
Oh, is he? I've only got a glimpse. We only chatted this way, so I only saw him from here up.
Like, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but like I'll see people on the internet and I'm like, they're probably the same size as me. And then I see him, I'm like, yo, you're a giant, bro. Like, Toby, like, I see Toby and I'm like, you should be hooping. Like, you just singing and rapping, you should be hooping. You should absolutely be hooping.
Oh, that's funny. So, well, obviously, two totally different parts of the world. What was it like growing up in Nigeria, and then what took you to then Toronto?
So they're two different parts of the world, and in every single way, they're two very, like every way you could imagine. Like Nigeria is like on the not to go into like Nigeria's economic situation, but like you know what I mean. But like Nigeria has the highest population on the continent.
Really? I didn't know that.
There's 100 million plus people in Nigeria. There's a lot of people in Nigeria.
Oh my.
It is insane. So population density is through the roof. The government has been a joke since I don't even know when. Nigeria is a real chaotic place. Like it's real like now it's getting better. I haven't been back in a minute, but my parents just went back and they came back and they were like, you know what? We're seeing little bits of, I mean, they're getting their act together.
It's getting better.
Kind of, but like Nigeria is a real, not trying to shit on Nigeria by any means. But
right.
It's a real chaotic place. Like chaotic.
Oh my.
So moving from there and then coming to Toronto, like my parents are always very strict. Like that's a traditional thing with Nigerian parents. Is like, yo, like they don't fuck around. Like they're like, hey.
Okay.
Because they can't, you know what I mean? You're in Nigeria, you fuck around, your kid they might snatch your kid up, now your kid dead or whatever's gonna happen. Like it's a crazy things happen. Back when I was there, they used to kidnap people at the airport. Like that was a thing. Like you get off the plane and they snatch your ass up. Like it's over for you. Like I laugh about it because it's kind of fucked up, but I laugh about it because to Nigerians, it's like,
yeah, that happens. You're just like, oh my God.
Things happen, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense to happen in Nigeria. Moving here, like I came here and I was like, I can do whatever I want. Like it was like unleashing just creating the most reckless child you could imagine. So I was just getting in whatever trouble. I remember being in class and a student yelled at the teacher and the teacher said, go to the principal's office. And I was like, oh, he's dead for sure. I'm like, it's over for bro. Like back then the teachers could still hit you. I was like, yeah, it's over for bro. Like, I'm like, he gonna die for sure. It's over. And he just came back at lunch and he was chilling. And I was like, what'd they do? He was like, nothing. I was like, nothing? I was like, Culture shock was crazy because I was like, this is a brand new place. Like, but I was kind of aware of the fact that like I wasn't a Canadian kid. Like 9-10 years old, that's like the start of some really formative years.
Yeah, 100%.
Kids, you start figuring out who you are for real. So I came here and I was like, okay, I'm not like everybody else that's here. So my experience with Canadian culture was very much like, how do I adjust and where do I fit in this climate? I wasn't in a school where there's a bunch of Nigerians, like, so I kind of just had to figure it out. So I just grew up around a bunch of different people from a bunch of different places, like ton of different life experiences. And then funny enough, that's like right around when I started rapping too. So like, I feel like rapping came at the perfect time because it was like, I just experienced this giant move. I came here, I didn't have any older cousins, you know what I mean? Like I'm literally by myself. I'm the oldest sibling. Like, not like I could go to my parents because they're also figuring this shit out for the first time, you know what I mean? Right. So I kind of was just like, on my own, and I had to just try and figure out life in this country at a very young age, but hip hop came at the perfect time. So I was able to be like, okay, like this is a thing that I could at least connect with and hold on to. And it's been like the most consistent thing in my life since I really
Wow. Yeah. Do you come from like an artistic household at all, or either your parents musical or
kind of like musical in the sense of like my dad, like I'll drop a song, my dad would be like, you know, I used to be in the choir when I was growing up. You know, I was in the choir, so that's where you get your voice. And then my mom's like, no, he gets an artistic thing from me. So like they were creative, but not like super creatives, like super took it super seriously or were trying to make it a career. But I think I have an uncle who is like trying to make music happen for a little bit, and like it didn't really work out. So like I didn't come from a household of like musicians, but they definitely nurtured the like artistic urges. Like I've been an artsy kid since I was young. I used to draw, and that was my thing for a while. And you know, eventually I got into poetry a little bit, and then it turned into hip hop and it turned into rapping. And my parents were always like, yeah, like do it, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. They try to put me in piano lessons. Like I was playing piano when I was young, and not enough to like play for real, but like tried it out a little bit. Like, so, but my dad definitely put me on a lot of music. Like big thing growing up was whenever we're in the car together, like he's spinning. I fell in love with Michael Jackson's music, fell in love with a whole lot of like that late 80s, early mid 90s West Coast hip hop era. That was my so like that listening to in the car, like so that's he put me on the Biggie too, like just man, like there was great music being played. But my parents weren't necessarily like artists, but they you know, I feel like they did what they were supposed to do.
But they supported you, which is huge.
Yeah,
I remember that was like
they support it as they support it like when your son is like, I got the recital, and then they show up like that type. I mean,
so,
like just like wholesome parent support.
but when you got to like an older age, or when you were gonna go to university or something, was that something that they wanted you? Did they support you pursuing it, or how did that work?
Not
Okay.
So it was an interesting situation because again, Nigerian parents, like I always cut my parents to slack of like, yo, if I moved my child halfway across the globe for better life, and he looked me in my face and he was like, I want to be a rapper, I'd be like, if you don't sit your stupid ass, like I'd be like, if you don't sit
right, 100%.
like, are you out of your mind? Like, like you know why I brought you? You know what I mean? So I get it. Like I understand the hesitation. My mom was always more supportive of it. Like she was always like, I ended up going to university for economics. So because while I'm in school, like I was supposed to go to law school. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a lawyer. And like,
oh wow, this is fascinating because I'm only gonna stop. Yeah, because Toby told me the same thing. He went to school and he was gonna be a doctor. Like he got he's like he passed all the classes to go into like medical school, and then it was like, can I do the music thing? Like I just
bro,
so
that's
fascinating to hear that.
Like, and I'm sure it's like this, like a ton of immigrants will tell you the same thing. Like,
100%.
Do not play. Like, their whole thing is like they decided you were gonna be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer before you were born, and then you come out and you're like, hey, by the way, I like making words rhyme, and they're like, oh my god, I failed. Like,
well, I see 100% see what you're saying. You're like, if I move my kid halfway across the world, and then he's like, I'm gonna be a rapper, you're just like, the hell you are. Like,
I mean? Like it's like, bro, like it didn't even make sense. Like it just sounded insane. But like while I was in university, like I was working for keep in mind, like my entire life to this point I've been rapping. Like it's just been
it sounds like 10 you said 10 11 years old you were
like I was every single talent show, or if you catch me at a house party, I'm liable to be the dude rapping.
Okay.
Hey, but I was that guy. Like that was my thing. Then I got to university and I finally bought a mic. I had never like really sat down and recorded music. It was just I like rapping. Like it was an outlet for me.
Just you just like freestyle, or you would just do
like
it
freestyling. Like I would write verses. I've always been a kind of anxious guy and just always had a ton of things going on in my head. So it helped me just line things up. Like I didn't even realize I was doing it, but around that same time, I got to the point where I started writing every single day. Like to this day, I can't sleep unless I write something. Whether it's
wow,
whatever. It's just a wellness practice. Like I gotta write something. It's just good. It's like when people journal at the end of the day. It's that type of thing. But actually,
I just make it rhyme.
But I bought my first mic and I was recording music out of my dorm room, and music was not good. But I would have, if you asked me, I would have been like, boy, I'm about to blow up tomorrow. I would have been like, yo, if somebody hear this, they're gonna think I'm the one. So I was doing it. I was working for an organization where we taught in like the school system in the city I went to school in. We work with kids, middle school, high school age, and it was like a writing organization. So we did writing, we work with the English programs, and we would, create these little like spoken word poetry writing clubs and go in and teach the kids. So like I was that time in university while I'm doing school, I'm also like kind of really, really digging my heels into just being a creative. And then it wasn't until like towards the end of school where it was like, all right, there is no way in hell I'm finna go to law school. It was like there's absolutely no way. Like it this makes no sense. Like it was to the point where and I struggle with anxiety. That's where my anxiety kind of got to its peak. And I was like, bro, like I gotta do something. I was like, something gotta shake. Like this law school thing, this whole like trying to go into the traditional go through school path is just not about to work. So I got lucky that like in the midst of that whole situation, I think I took a year off of school to work full-time with the program and working with the kids. And right at the end of that year that I was, or I guess the end of like the school year towards, that's when COVID hit. Like,
oh, wow. So instead of going back and like at the end of that gap year being like, all right, now I got to go, do this until I can convince my family otherwise.
All of a sudden it was like everyone's at home, like everyone's home. So, and over that time frame, I had met a couple friends, like my friend Dan Vucko, who produces everything I do. That's one of my best friends in the whole world. And everything I do to this day, it's the same group of guys. Like we all met in school. we're all musicians and we're all creatives and we just make it happen however it needs to happen. But we started working remotely. Like we're like, all right, I'll, you know, send in verses and send in beats and sending all these different things back and forth. Right around when COVID hit, like, because COVID was like March, like mid-March 2020. I want to say like right at the end of April 2020, I just threw a video up on TikTok and it just took the fuck off. Like I don't know.
Oh, wow.
At this point, no one knew who I was. Like literally it was like, just my friends knew I made music. Like really nobody gave a shit. Like not a singular shit.
Not a singular shit.
Not a singular shit. And then the video took the fuck off, and I don't know where it was like, oh wait, okay, hold on. So people like this. All right, cool. Let's see where this is gonna go. Let's just try it. And I would just throw videos up, and it would be like every now and then a video would just catch 1 million views, and I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like I never conceived of this many people like in real time, like enjoying a thing that I created. I remember the first video hit 10K views, and we were probably playing 2K or Fortnite or something, and we're on the game chat, and one of my friends was like, bro, that's like a small village, bro. Like he was like, we were losing it. We were freaking out. Like it was crazy. And then
what was that first video that went off? Was it for one of your songs?
No, not even. It was there was like a rap challenge going around. Like I don't remember what the challenge was called, but there was a challenge going around, and everyone was like doing their verses. Like the dude like posted the beat on YouTube and was like, rap on my thing, whatever. And were like, they were doing it, but it was like this was at a time in TikTok where there wasn't the giant rush of artists yet. You know what I mean? So like it was still like
everyone's mom wasn't on it yet.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, people weren't sitting down like recording audio and then recording a high quality video and like knowing, hey, let me mix my vocals. It was like, yo, let me wrap the headphone mic.
Headphone mic thing. You sure?
But at the time, like because we'd been working remotely and I know how to record myself and all of that, like I was like, bro, I'll just track it. Like, you know what I mean? I'll record it, make it look good, chop it up, edit it a little bit. Just threw the video up, and then it started going crazy, and then it was kind of back to back, like a bunch of videos caught fire, and then ever since then I was like, all right, let me figure out how this thing works. And yeah, since I pretty much, it's probably coming up on like it's 2023. It's like 3 years now I've been posting on TikTok.
Yeah,
been a minute.
Well, with that though, like at what point were you like, okay, this is working? And was it always like some challenging type video that you were doing that was working? And then when do you go, I'm going to put my own, I'm an artist, so here's my song.
It was, I think off rip, I just kind of like, so the first video I posted that blew up was the rap challenge video. Like the very video I followed it up with was like, hey y'all, I'm actually dropping a song next week.
Okay, so you got on it real quick.
You know what I mean? So off rip, I was like, hey, go check out the music. Like, and it was because no one knew what it was, like, we were just kind of trying stuff. Like we were just doing it was like, this might work, this might not work. I would try and rap on like whatever popular, like you remember like the hip hop heavy, like the go.
Yeah.
I was like rapping on whatever popular thing was going around, and people were like,
whatever sound it was that was doing something.
Yeah, people were like, that's the guy that raps on anything. He can rap on any beat. And like that was kind of the thing. Like that was my thing for a little bit. And then duetting started becoming a thing where you like somebody's video and you rap on top of it, or you singer started doing it. Charlie Puth was one of the earliest people to start doing that. And like a ton of artists like sort of appeared from that time frame. You know what I mean? Like when it became clear, like, oh, this is a thing that I could use to get people to go check out the actual music that I do. So it wasn't like there was like a formula. It's kind of just doing whatever.
Wild West style.
Yeah, like figuring it out and then being like, hey, by the way, I'm dropping a song if y'all want to listen to it. Like, you know what I mean? And just trying to slip it in there and be real slick about it. And some people were like, you get like, obviously there was a little bit of drop off because some people want the big viral, like, yo, rap on this guy starting his car. Like, you know what I mean? But then there's people that are like, yo, like I like the funny meme, like not meme, but like jokey joke, not as taking yourself seriously.
Yeah.
But you can rap for real. And like they're going to the music and before I know it, like by the time the pandemic's over, like people are actually listening to the music. It was kind of wild. Like it was one of those where we literally went from no one to like, it was a real gradual, you know what I mean, every couple of weeks, like the listenership would just go up.
More and more people.
Oh, people are like realizing like we know how to do this for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to where we are today. Like COVID ended, and now we're just trying to take it. Not what ended. COVID.
Right. The lockdowns or whatever ended. But I mean, because you have a really cool, like, unique voice, and I thought it was interesting that you brought up, like, 90s, like that kind of that era hip hop. Because when I hear your voice, that's the music I loved growing up, and even maybe a little bit later down the line, like Beat Nuts and those when it started. So I'm trying to, like, I was listening to it. I'm like, gosh, like you're that, like, Pizzazz, that song just puts me back into, like, when I was, like, in high school, and I'm like, those are the records I was listening to. Like, I'm like, this would just fit in with, the Gangstar and the other things I was listening to at the time. And
you grew up on Gangstar? That's crazy,
dude. Yeah, I loved it. Like, those are all the records that I love to listen to. And then I would, like, hear that, I'm like, oh my god, like, and just the beat, everything about the song. But all the new stuff, all your music is, it has this really cool, like, fresh vibe, but, like, it reminds me of that kind of era of hip hop and the beats in that era that I loved growing up. I was like, wow, like, because I have my son's 15. I'll play him stuff, and he's like, oh, like, what is this?
Wait, hold on, wait, let's not speed past. You got a 15-year-old son?
Yeah, and a 7-year-old. 30, I turned 39 next month.
That's fucking crazy.
I know, I'm old, dude.
But you know, you know what it is? Like, I'm realizing, like, maybe it's because I'm getting older too. Like, I'm 24. Like, maybe it's because I'm getting older too. But 40-year-olds looked old as hell when I was younger. Like, I don't know what it is. All the 40-year-olds I was young. Shit,
I'm not 40 yet. I'm only 38, turning 39. Right. I'm just kidding. No, but it's just like, I'll play him shit, and he's just like, what is it? Like, what is this beat? And I'm like, oh, this is, Nas, like, or whatever it may be. And it's just cool to, because he's into the hip hop that's popular now. You know what I mean? And it's like him going back, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, yeah, like, and you're kind of bridging that gap, I feel like.
Yeah.
For me, when it comes to the newer stuff.
Yeah, that's the intention, is like, because that's the stuff I grew up on too, right? Like, like, that's the stuff that I fell in love with. Like, my favorite rappers to this day are like Big L and Mos Def. Like, these are my favorite ever. Like, these are the dudes that made me listen to hip hop and be like, oh my god, I love this. I need to figure it. Like, that's what you emulate too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That was one of my favorite rappers ever. Like, the way he sets his punchlines up, his tone, his sometimes, like, he's a little aggressive, but not like in a let me scare you type of aggressive. Like, he be saying mean stuff, but the voice stays the same. Or Mos Def, his some of his inflections, the in this thing we call hip hop, where you either get played or get shot. Like, it's just, I feel like that's the stuff I love, and that's the stuff we try to, like, emulate and recreate. Like, even down to the way we make our music now. Like, me and Dan just finished making a project, 7-song project that'll probably drop, like, not way later, but like in a couple months.
Okay.
We made the whole thing on an MPC.
Really?
Like, yeah, we sat down and we have all this gear available, but Dan was like, yo, like, I really want to sit down and just cook some stuff up with an MPC. And we sat down and made some of our best stuff with an MPC. Like, that's where we draw our inspiration from. Like, that's the era we sort of are aspiring to, but also trying to take it and, like, add our own a little bit of modern twist to it. Sometimes there's trappy vibes in the stuff we do. Sometimes it's super funky. Sometimes there's a Dan playing a real rock music type riff on the guitar. Like, we're just kind of a little bit all over the place, just mixing a little bit of old school with some new school and whatever else is left over that we got to add into it.
Yeah, I love what you're doing. I'm curious on, I mean, the new song, is this we'll get to the new song, but I'm like, so first of all, you brought up Michael Jackson. I love the Beat It cover you did, or not the cover, but like the cover that you took from on the Nikes. Like, yeah, I was like that.
That was mad funny, because I feel like people, like we wanted it to look like I really did it, bro. It was two dudes next to me holding me up, and I was like, these are shaking. I'm like, take the picture, get it. That was one of those where, like sometimes we'll sit down. My boy Adit Dixit does all my videos. He does all the cover art, and sometimes we'll sit down and be like, all right, like, what do we want to do for the cover art for this? And sometimes we kind of just figure it out on the spot. But as soon as we made the song Beat It, we were like, no, this is going to be the cover art. Like we made the song. Couple days later, we're like, all right, we got to do a Michael Jackson theme video. We got to do it. We got to have the cover art with the, you know what I mean, standing on the toes.
Like, the tippy toes.
Yeah. And like, we didn't plan when we were making the song, we weren't making it to be a Michael Jackson thing. Like we were just.
Yeah. Because I thought you did a cover of it and I listened to the song. I'm like, this is not anything like Beat It.
At all. That was like part of the beauty of it is, you know what I mean? Like when you hear Beat It, you think Michael Jackson. And then in the video, we wanted to represent like, all right, what if we took the Michael Jackson in the Beat It video with the red jacket and then we just took it and we flipped it into like, what if that was me? Like just me the way I am. I got the red puffer jacket on. I got some Nikes on. I got some cargo pants on. I got my chain out. Got a do-rag on. You know what I mean? Like this is like how I am. And that kind of was the idea is like, if you removed the Michael Jackson and just placed me, like, what would that look like? And that was
no, it's brilliant. Along with all your, I mean, the clips you put up online are so funny, and you can hear that in your songs, but there's like a seriousness to them too, and like there's depth to your lyrics and everything else. But with Pizzazz, like so that song is just the big one. You know what I mean? Was that a video that also was that something that caught fire again through TikTok, and then eventually, you know, to convert those people into listeners and streams and all that stuff is a big jump in itself. I mean, just because a song does well on TikTok doesn't mean someone's going to open up an app and then find you. It's like the fact that you have to do another process is like, like I don't want to like open Spotify and like look this guy up.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta like love the song to like really go.
Right. Yeah. And obviously people really love the song. And so how did that start? Did you just put a little clip up of it or?
Yeah, Pizzazz was funny because like there's a ton of videos I posted that have done well, but like I don't release the social media stuff as streamable music generally. Like I'm
100%.
I'm kind of just like this is a cool, fun thing that I did, but the stuff that I release, that's the stuff I want to play at the show. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that like if somebody finds out and they're like, this is my favorite artist, then this is like my best foot forward. Like that's what I release on streaming. But Pizzazz was funny because Pizzazz was a throwaway. Like me and the guys, we were in Edmonton, Alberta, like visiting a friend. We were just kicking it, like chopping it up, hanging out. We were at there's a mall in Edmonton with like a roller coaster. Like we were chilling, kicking it. Then we went back to his house and we don't go anywhere without some gear. So we were in the basement and we're like, let's just record this thing real quick. And we were joking, like we were freestyling, like joking around on it. And then I want to say a month, give or take later, I was like, hey, let me get that beat again. I just want to get this thing off real quick. So I just wrote the chorus. It was just the chorus, like the first, like give or take 45 seconds of the actual song. Like that's all it was. Posted it up. And then the video blew up. Like people were like, oh my God, this is so, but this wasn't the first time it's happened. Like it's happened like this before. I've had bigger videos than the Pizzazz before. But something about the timing of it and like just the way the song itself felt, like it was like, yo, let's build this out and then let's decide what we're gonna do. Like, so Dan and I linked back up and I finished the first half and he was like, what do you want to do on the second half? And I was like, I don't know if you ever listen to Drake, but 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Going from the we're upbeat up here and then the second half we slow it all the way down as the pretty synth going on. So that kind of was the idea. We built the song all the way out and we were like, yeah, this kind of bang, bro. Like, like, yeah, this kind of bang. So we were like, you know what? Let's put it out. Like, fuck it. Let's drop it. Like, we don't usually do this. Let's just do it. Like, let's just see what happens. So I'm posting it. I'm like, yeah, the song about to drop. The song came out and people went stupid. Like, people went stupid. I did not expect. It's always the ones you don't expect. Like, I did not think people were going to connect that much with Pizzazz. Because to us, like, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, we've done a ton of these before, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
People latched onto it and they attached to it, and whether it was the first half in a more lighthearted way or it was the second half in like a more, you know, deeply emotionally connected type way, people latch onto it. Like they really, really fuck with it. And that's when like we talked to labels before, but that was when like they started getting real like, hey man, how's it going? To me from 8 months ago where I reached out to you and then I never spoke to you again for 8 months. You remember me? Yeah, man, what's going on? What's like, and it was such a funny process. Like it was hilarious to see and to just experience, because it was like, this is so funny because we did calculate this song for like months. You know what I mean? Like this was like,
Yeah.
like so so the song blew up and ton of labels wanted it and they were kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, they were playing around a whole lot. They were playing around like shit. They sometimes they think you stupid and like that's what they're banking on. So ended up not really going anywhere with any of the major labels. And then like the song had its moment, and then on the back heels of like the momentum of the song, I was like, hey, by the way, we dropped an album that we already kind of had finished before Pizzazz was even a thing. Album coming out the year, started dropping the singles from the project, dropped the album, did a show, my first like headline show in Toronto last October.
Wow.
Sold it out. It was crazy. Like it was like, oh, like it was just pretty dope. And then now like Pizzazz has happened and it is what it is, and we're just already on to just bigger, better things. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, and you're still killing, and you're doing a show in LA coming up.
Yeah, we got the LA show coming up at the Mint on September 14th. Like we, keeping it moving.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. That's funny that you're just kind of like when all the big people are coming out of the woodwork, like, oh hey, you got this thing going on.
It's like I feel like there's a lot of artists. Me and the guys talk about the fact that we had the benefit of like growing up first before like people started caring about our music. I feel like there's a lot of artists that are young, like you're a young artist, you just graduated high school, whatever the case is. Out of nowhere, you got a crazy huge song. You haven't even necessarily been making music for that long. Like you just
maybe you don't even have another song, right?
You know what I mean? Like, and then you just blow up, and now everybody wants you, and it's like that's where they get you. You're easily manipulated. You're easy to play with. Like you don't know yourself. You're just easy to take advantage of. We're lucky because we like lived life. You know what I mean? Before people started caring. So now that people care, like we're not shaking, we're not phased. Like if so-and-so record label guy is like, hey man, how's it going? I'm like, no, I'm not an idiot. I know what you're doing. Like when they're like, yeah,
your record label guy impression is the best thing I've ever heard.
They all sound like that. Hey man, how's it going, man? Yeah, it's me, just John Johnson from this record label. You remember 8 months ago. Oh, like, yeah, man, I've just been watching silently. Like, no, you haven't, bro. Like, bro, or the funniest ones are when they just text you, like, because they're always like you get the long thing. We love what you're doing over here. We believe in what you could be. And this and that, and then like you get the text and it's like, yeah, man, just checking in, man. Yeah, I'll talk to you in the next couple of days, and then you hear nothing, and then 8 months later it's like, hey man, how's it going? It's like, bro, it's so funny. It's hilarious because they're shameless about like how weird and like fake it is. Like it's hilarious. I think it's the funniest thing in the whole. Every time I have a conversation or a label meeting, I'm like, bro, this is so funny. So funny.
Oh man, the fact that you just know it, like coming through, you could just see right through it is so funny.
And it's like
so funny.
It's like they bank on the fact that like, and not labels specifically, because there's just a ton of people in the music industry that just bank on this idea of like, you want to be famous so bad,
right,
that you'll just do anything. And it's like, no.
Well, it's worked for so many years, right? I mean, so many people are now in bands that are trying to come back and like fight over like publishing rights and masters. And I mean, look at Taylor Swift. She's got to record every one of her albums because she got screwed in the beginning.
And Scooter Braun out here, I don't know if you saw like in a span of a week, everybody dropped Scooter Braun. Like I'm like, yo, like these are all people that just didn't know better.
Yeah. Right. It's not like he didn't hand you a contract. Yeah, right.
Didn't know better. And it's like, now I'm at the age where like, I know better. Like, and I think a big reason that's the case is because of what TikTok and social media has been able to do. Because like, by the time labels are reaching out, we've already had like millions of views on things before. Like, we've started to make a little bit of money, like independently. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
you can flip the script and be like, well, okay, well, I'm already doing all of this myself. So what are you going to provide to me?
And most of the time it's absolutely nothing. Like most of the time it's fucking nothing. When Pizzazz dropped, it was so funny. There were people like, hey man, we love to work with you, man. So we want to put $15,000 on the table. And I'm like we're sitting there, we're like, bro, like we're like, dog, like just if I took a calculator out and calculated how long it would take for me to just make that money off this song right now, like there's no way that you think I don't have access to a calculator to just figure out. It's crazy. Like it's so funny. Like it's the funniest thing in the world to me. And I feel like the maybe some artists might look at me and think I'm just like some dickhead or something, but like, and I'm not feeling anybody who's like falling for that. Like, again, it makes sense when you're an impressionable, you know what I mean? You
right.
They're playing on the fact that you don't know things. Like people just do that in general, not just labels. There's managers who do it. There's other artists who do it.
A lot of people,
random scummy people, promoters who do it. Like a ton of people do it. Like artists are so easy to prey on. Like because just we're artists.
You want it so bad, and there's no. You know, it's not like if you wanted to be a lawyer, you don't go to school and then graduate and take the bar and then you're a lawyer. It's like, is this my one moment? Is this my shot? Like, sure, they're gonna screw me and give me 15 grand for this song, but maybe that will lead to
$40 million. And then it's like,
right.
But like, what if it doesn't?
Yeah, and then you have the one song that you don't own at all anymore.
You know, or like, what if it does get to the point where it blows up and now you got to split this song 50-50 that you put your whole, like, what if you don't have another one after this? Like, you know what I mean? And people have this idea of like, just the when you want it so bad, you're prone to be impulsive. Like, that's just, it is what it is. Me and the guys, we're in a different situation because we chose this.
Right.
I mean, like, we didn't start making music because it's like, it's our only way out. Like, we chose this. Like, we had options. Like, all like, God forbid if I wake up tomorrow and I just can't rap no more, like it's just out the window, like I'm not gonna die, I'll figure something out. You know what I mean? Like, right. This is what I want. Like, this is what we want. We chose this. Like, we work accordingly. Like, we work like there's no tomorrow. Like, we want it bad, but also like the we're not impulsive about it. Like, and we're lucky because we're a team. Like, it's the same group of friends. You know what I mean? So if one person's having a moment of like, yo, bro, like, kind of freaking out a little bit, there's a bunch of other dudes to be like, yo, chill, you got this, take a step back, think about it. Like, I feel like I feel like my biggest cheat code is the fact that I have a team and they're my friends. Right. Everyone has their head on their shoulders. You know what I mean?
You're not making that impulsive decision. It's like, okay, let's take a moment and figure this out.
Yeah, when the labels offer pennies and then I go in the group chat and I'm like, this is what they offered, everybody's like, that's dumb. That's like,
okay, well, I guess that wasn't a good option.
You know what I mean? That's kind of stupid. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, like it also maybe helps that all of us were like business students before him. Maybe that's
right. Yeah, you were going to school for economics, which
you know what
doesn't
I mean?
hurt.
Like we kind of understand a little bit, like I don't know if it translates 1-to-1 like business school to like the music industry necessarily. I don't really think it does.
But $1's a dollar, right?
Yeah, like we could look at something and be like, that don't feel right. You know?
Right.
Not to say that it's not a like perpetual battle too, though, because the biggest battle of a musician is you versus you. Like it's literally you versus yourself in your own head and what you choose to allow to like fuck with you, or like what you choose to even allow in. Like it's the comparison game is a very real thing. You know, like the outside voices telling you, well, this is what you should do, and this is what this person did, and this is this, and this is that. Like, it's easy to just feel like you don't have a good handle on things. But again, I'm lucky I got a team, bro. Like, if I'm ever tripping, they're literally gonna be there to be like, hey, bro, you're tripping.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so yeah.
And I think like even you have a song about it. I mean, imposter syndrome in itself is something that like I feel like a lot, if not all artists struggle with that at some point, right? It's like, why are they here for me? Like, what I don't understand this.
And it's like, I feel like me rapping is something that like, just I'm so grateful that it does what it does for me on a therapeutic side and on like a wellness side. Because even a song like Imposter Syndrome, like there's like steps to understanding what's bothering you. There's like, all right, like I feel bothered. And then there's like, oh, here, this is what it's called. And then there's like, what does that mean? And like, what does that mean for me? And then that's how you get to the point where you're able to handle it. And right. Putting it in the song now, I'm able to break it down all the way to in not even necessarily writing it so people could understand it. I'm writing it so I could understand it and what makes the most sense to me. And then by the end of that song, by the time I'm done making it, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I think I have a pretty okay handle on the imposter syndrome. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It feels like a therapeutic thing for me. Like, it feels like, all right, like, and then when I put it out into the world, it's like, maybe somebody else gets a better handle on their situation based off of what this is. Maybe somebody's just like, it sounds sick. That's also a cool thing. Like, yeah, I'm grateful that hip hop does what it does for me. Like I'm just, yeah. I feel like I'm like the luckiest guy in the world. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I feel like there's like things could have gone way worse. Like I think about it, I'm like, yo, there's so many things that could have gone wrong and that do go wrong for people that I just have been lucky enough like to just not have to deal with on my own. And I'm taking my wins and I'm smiling and I'm celebrating the W's. Like,
yeah, I love that. Well, you mentioned a project,
yeah,
7-song project, and the most recent song you just put out, "Fuck 'Em Up Moses," and you had like a cool campaign with the like what Rockstar Energy drink and all that.
yeah.
You know, all that stuff's happening for you. Well, talk to me about this song, and is this a part of this project, or is this something that's away from it?
So Fuck My Moses is totally separate from the project.
Okay.
Fuck My Moses is so funny because again, it comes from a situation of me and the guys. Like we made the first half of the song in January, like in the first week of January. Or first
wow.
Made it and we were like, this is really cool. But like we got to finish it. And like we tried a bunch of different things and some things worked and some things didn't work. And we were like, yeah, like it wasn't really sounding right. And then we just performed, not just performed, but like maybe a couple months ago, we performed in Calgary, Alberta. And on the plane to Calgary, Dan just opens his laptop. Dan doesn't know how to like not work. He's one of those people, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like he's like it's like somebody's wedding and he's like sneaks off in the back to like make some beats. Like that's Dan.
He's like, I got free time right now. I got to utilize it.
Literally, yeah, like I need to be working right now. Like,
right.
So we're on the plane. Everybody else sleeps, snoring, drool coming out. You know what I mean? It's like a 4-hour give or take flight to where we're going to. So, or like 3.5, 4-hour flight to where we're going to. So on the plane over there, Dan just puts his headphones on and he's just making some beats, chopping, like cooking them up. We get to the hotel and he's just like playing the beats that he made. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I'm gonna work on this when we get back. We get back, finish it, and it was gonna be a whole different song. I wrote it out, like I wrote a whole verse, and it was good to go. I was like, we're gonna record this new song, and we show up, and right before I left the house to go to Dan's place to record this song, I was like, let me just line it up. Like, let me just put it in Logic and just line it up with the first half and just see. And I couldn't line it up exactly where it needed to be, so I was like, I'm probably just tripping. Then I get to Dan's house, and Dan's like, we should line it up with the first half of the other song. And I'm like, yeah, if you can figure it out. And he lines it up and it hits so hard. And we were like, yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Now the song is done. So as soon as the song was done, hurried up to get, this is like literally a month between when we finish the song and when the song comes out. Like super, super quick. Like we finished it. We did what we had to do, got it mixed, got it mastered, got the master back, got the cover art situated, shot the video on Saturday. The video comes out tomorrow. Like it's like the we're trying to, you know what I mean, we had to kind of run and hustle and speed up to get it together. But the song itself is just music to just quit your fucking job to. Like, yeah. like I feel like I struggle to describe what type of music we make. And I feel like some of our songs fall into the category of like very aggressive, radical self-care. Like that's what it falls into. It's like Fuck 'Em Up Moses is like, yo, if you got to quit that job, you play Fuck 'Em Up Moses on the way. You play
on the way out.
Play it when you putting all your stuff in from your cubicle in the little box. You know what I mean? You play it like that night when you're home in your robe and you're drinking your wine and you two-stepping around the apartment. Like that's that Fuck 'Em Up Moses is quit your job music. Or maybe you got somebody to fight this weekend. This is what you play.
That's somebody to fight.
You know what I mean? Planning to go beat somebody ass. Like it's very much that type of music. It's just real aggressive, like I'm about to do something for me music. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's so funny. That's such a funny way to put it. Throwing the stuff from your cubicle.
Yeah,
like you got your earbuds
in. You'll be like, yeah. You put it, that's what it feels like for real.
Oh wow. So okay, so then you got the project. You sounds like you're far ahead on your recording and your songs and everything.
Yeah. We try our best to stay ahead of what we're doing. I mean, sometimes it's hard. Like we do gotta scramble. Like we're fucking up Moses. Like we gotta scramble and put it together quick.
But I mean, being independent, you have the freedom to do that, right? I mean, how long would that have taken you?
I don't got to go through some dude with some dirty white huaraches and the goddamn, you know what I mean, and like a Bape shirt. Like he's 46 and he's like got like a backwards hat on, and he's like, yeah, man, you know, I think we should maybe drop this next September. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we want to drop it, we can just drop it. Like, we just do whatever.
It's ready. I can push, go on the
literally. Like, if we finish the song, like, I can upload this tonight. Like, if I really like, so yeah, so this project we're working on, like, very much old school vibes, very much 90s vibes.
Love it.
Very, very much like traditional boom bap. You know what I mean? With a little bit of some new school flair in there. There's every single song is a little bit you know what? Maybe I should say what the name of the name of the project is Bombs Like Barack. Yeah,
that's awesome.
How you felt when you heard that just now, that's how we want people to feel. I'm like, what the fuck is this about to be? That's yeah. It's the project. There's some inflammatory moments on the project. But it all resolves itself nicely, and it all comes to a very, it feels cohesive. Sonically, it feels cohesive. The message feels cohesive at the end. The stories that are being told all line up properly. Like, it's gonna be really, really dope.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you telling us, you know, the name of it and everything. Yeah, that's exciting, man.
I've said it like outside of like our group of like
oh damn.
Looking at the playlist of my phone and just shaking my head and being like, damn, this shit really called Bombs Like Barack, bro. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life, bro? But it makes so much sense and it fits so well. We're at the point where we're trying to get super ahead. We have another project that's kind of like halfway done that we're trying to drop next year. That's more of like an album. That's like not even like a 7-track. That's closer to like a 10, 12 track.
Okay.
We're just always cooking, always working, always trying to make things happen, always trying to stay busy because it's the name of the game. Like, we just got to keep it pushing.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing. I wish I was still in San Diego or have come up for your show at the Mint, but I'm in Tennessee now, so you should come out this way and play.
I would love to. Like, we're at the point now where we just got our work visas, and now we're like, yo, we could tour. Let's perform. Like, if we really want to, like, so we're trying to figure that out too. I'm trying to hit New York, trying to hit Chicago, trying to hit, you know what I mean, Tennessee, like trying to, you know what I mean, like see where we can make stuff happen. Yeah, if we're in your area, we got you.
Oh yeah, I'll drive to you. It's a bit far now. I mean, that's days of driving for me to get back to LA, but
I'm talking about LA. I'm talking about like if we come to like your area, like
no, that's what I mean. Like, but I'm saying if you're around my area, you would drive hours driving distance. Hell yeah, I want to see you guys play.
We'll take care of the gas money because that's an expensive ass.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
I would to LA for me, so I'm flying my ass down there.
That's so funny.
The price of the ticket, I was like, damn.
Well, dude, I love what you're doing. Congratulations on all of this. I have one more question for you before I let you go. I know you got to warm up your 2K skills for the new
I gotta
game.
Get it right because them 7-year-olds not fucking around with me.
Yeah, they're ready for you. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
For aspiring artists, like, I always say the same thing if anyone ever asks for advice. First of all, I don't think I'm a nigga to be giving advice anyway. I'm 24. I don't know shit about shit. I don't know nothing about nothing. There's definitely a 35, 40, 50, 60-year-old man that's like, you young motherfucker, you don't know shit about shit. Like, but from what I've experienced, the biggest advice I could give is just be yourself and be honest. You know what I mean? And just tell it how it is and tell the truth. Because at the end of the day, like, anything else that's going on, no matter how life plays out or your career plays out or whatever the hell, at least at the end of the day, you can look back and be like, well, I was being myself and I gave it everything I had to give. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're like, I did my best. And that's how you know you did your best is if you're just being yourself everywhere you go. Treat people the way that you would want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like, don't be a weirdo. Like, you know, there's a lot of weird. That's also a big one. There's a lot of weirdo artists. Don't be a weirdo artist. Don't do that. Don't wear sunglasses inside. Don't be that guy. You know what I mean? It's 11 p.m. You in the club. It's dark already. You got sunglasses on. You can't fucking see. Like, we know you can't fucking see. Like, don't be that guy. Don't come to the studio and be like, yeah, that shit, all right. Like, it's cool or whatever. No, be excited about the song if you're excited. Like, be yourself, be real, be honest, be genuine, and don't be a weirdo. That's my advice.
I love it. And and you also have like a side hustle in stand-up comedy, man. You're hilarious.
You know what's funny? People have been telling me I should do stand-up, and I feel like that's the easiest way to become a shitty stand-up comic. Like that's how I'm gonna find out I'm not that funny. Like I feel like I'm like regular conversation funny. I don't know if I got like go on a stage and like get these jokes off funny.
Punchline jokes.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna go up there and be like, so, and then they're gonna fucking shit out of me. I'm gonna get booed off that fucking stage. I don't got that type of confidence in myself yet. Not yet. Maybe.
That's hilarious. Well, thank you again so much for doing this. Yeah, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
You too.
Bringing it backward.